Well, it's tipping with rain, and I've been wanting to get out and paint on location, but the weather just prohibits all of that. So I'm just doing a quick gouache of a scene in Snowdon, and I've gone through some of my sketches and came across this sketch and thought a bit of fun with this today and just show you something of, again, a scene in snow that's can be quite effective, but not a lot of work. I'm using gouache, and I'm painting on a mountain board, scrapper mountain board, that I have. I put some gesso paste on and give it a bit of a tooth to work on. I coated it with a little bit of acrylic paint, just to give it a bit of a tone to work on, so the white will register. It's going to be a snow scene, so let's see if we get on with this now. And all I'm going to do is, if you're fairly quick with the skies, you can blend in quite easily, really, a bit like you would with oil. You can just rub it with your finger if you wanted and get it soft like that. As long as you're fairly quick with it and not too ambitious, covering too big an area. And there we go. We're nearly done with the sky, actually. It won't take much, really, more than what we got by here now. And I'll come back in on the sky later, drop some whites in and some blues. But that really gives me something of the effect that I'm looking for the snow to sort of register. And what I'm going to do is just clean this palette a bit so I can get some clean blue for the snow shadow. And that's so important that you are that it's very, very clean colors. You don't want them to get too muddy. Sky doesn't matter, but when it comes to the actual snow, and I'm going to put the shadow in. This is the fun part when you're doing snow, that you can put the shadow in. I'm do a little bit of put a little bit of crimson in with the blue. And we see how we get on here now. There we go. There we go. So we haven't got to fuss with this too much because we're not on detail at this stage. We're looking for interesting shapes, big sort of shapes. And you'll see now. And of course, because it's gouache, you can paint light on top of the blue. You can do that. No trouble at all. You see now I can blend that back in there into the sky. Isn't that great? So you haven't got to worry about these drying times like you do with watercolor, or And if I mix a bit of a darker color here, so I'm going to put some light red, I think, with some ultramarine blue, and we'll get the effect of this this coming up here. That's a bit darker. So it's like a hill in the distance. And if I go a little bit darker again, then that will register more. There we go. That's registering more there. But I don't want it too pronounced, and I want it that it's sort of going into the cloud here at the background. There we go. Into the mist. There we go. That's it, really. And that's all for now. Now we turn to the fun part, which is the snow. And we want that really crisp and clean for it to stand out. And let's have a look here. Right, here we go. So I'm putting it on quite thickly. And let's have a look. Let's get this over here. Coming down to that's in shade a bit. And what we'll have is we'll have a bit of snow coming in here. So I'm just working on the larger areas first. And there we go. Now you can see how that is registering there. And then what I'll do, I'll turn to a smaller brush now, just to get the effect of snow just hitting, see the top of this mountain here, and coming down. I'll just leave that, so I could just rub it in a little bit if I wanted to sort of push it more into the distance. But that's enough, I think, for a suggestion there. And then what we're going to have is we'll have snow that's collected on the crags here. So I'm just working on the rigger, just getting a bit of definition here and there. And when I get the rocks protruded, this will really stand out. So we just get that like that. And down by here as well. And you're looking for shapes all the time, so it's not too predictable. And then we'll have a little bit bare, I think, on this end here. And I think for now, you've just got to go now onto the crags to get the crags in. So let's do that. So I'm going to use some burnt umber, and I might use a bit of burnt sienna as well, I think, to give it on that reddish side. So some of it will be catching where there's a bit of a glow. I can see straight away the difference that makes. And then we'll get the darker colours in, because all this will be rock down here. So I'm wanting to do it quite roughly, really, and just scrumble it on, basically. So it looks like detail, but it's not, in a sense. It's just... And then we'll get a little bit of rock by there. And while we're at that, we'll get these protruding here, which are in the foreground, so that's larger. Now, having done that, if I get the actual umber now, which is on the darker side, here we go. Now you'll really see it pop now and really jump out. And I'm just fairly rough at the moment. I'll come over it later to finish it off with a finer brush, but you can see roughly the sort of technique that I'm using. I'll be coming in with a finer brush to get it detailed, and I'll get some more snow on these crags, and you'd be surprised how effective. But snow is great fun painting, because you haven't got to do a great deal to get it to be quite effective, because you've got this contrast with the white, then the shadows, and then on top of that I can put this darker in here, a bit of colour to warm it up. You've always got to think of a bit of colour with snow, so that it does pop out. It doesn't just sit there a bit bland. And I think that gives you a bit of an idea of what it'll be like.